Hello everybody, this is West from the High Rollers, and this is probably a different type of video, but yeah, I'm sitting here playing a coaster. Yeah, I'm looking at my time-lapse right now, and I'm like, it is now the time to start doing stuff like this, because I want to give back to the community. But also, thank y'all for anyone that looked at the Thank You Planet Coaster 1 video. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved this game. I've loved this franchise, and being able to mess around with it, finally get my hands on it to see what's going on. You know, what's like the building, and so far, I have a lot of good to say about it. I have a lot of good to say. I've been kind of addicted, if anything. To me, the building on top of coasters, on top of just literal scenery pieces and just what we've gotten, is just amazing. Their creativity is just awesome. I'm right now. I'm making what is kind of like a modern storefront here. I'm not worrying about any indoor theming. Just gonna look good on the outside, and we're not gonna worry about anything on the inside. It's kind of a performance test too with this park, as to see how it's gonna run. I'm basically running exactly the specs that is recommended, besides the fact that I do not have a 5800X, I have a 3700X, but everything else is exactly the same, you know, exactly right there. So I'm trying to see right now. I mean, the facts, they kind of do force every anti-aliasing, like literally they force DLSS, TA. The game looks great, you know, it runs great. It might be a bit bright compared to the last game. I did not play Zoo, you know, but all things considered, these are great. Now this is not, I don't know if I would keep, maybe I'm not going to notice these as much when I go later, but these little dreamers for the fountains are not, they don't look great when you look at them, but from afar they're fine. Yeah, so this is I didn't start recording until a bit after I started making some of these buildings, unfortunately. But the story behind this park is going to be, well, first, the park's name is going to be the Willoughby Experience. Really, it was going to be just generic theme, modern theme throughout the park, like actually a very new modern kind of storefronts throughout, as it's going to be right across from Stonecrest Mall in real life. I don't, if you're not familiar, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, yeah, there's so many fucking malls, but the Stonecrest Mall in Georgia has a very big plot in real life, or it's right next to it, that is just kind of sitting there open and flat. So me and my friends were thinking, you know, what if they just open up a big park? You know, it's about, you know, half a mile worth of land leading up to the mall, and about I would say about a little bit less than a half north-south as well. So it's actually sizable. Like it probably is literally the size of like a Planet Coaster plot. At least in the first game. I don't know. This game seems like the plots are much bigger in Sandbox, which is kind of funny considering the fact that guest cap is maxed, or there's a cap for it right now of 6,000, which to me, I'm not too sure why. You know, in the last game, you know, I could have put the cap to 6,000 myself. You know, the game wasn't stopping me from that. And I'm really wondering if, when the game gets super chunky, if it really does, you know, that really does matter. I mean, I guess the peeps, the guests are more, they are more robust, I would say. I mean, a lot of the systems are in this game, right? And really, because I've seen a lot of, I guess, doom and gloom in the game, and I'm not saying I'm a master builder at all. I am not an expert in the slightest. As you can probably see from this right here, you know, I've gotten slightly better with each build, right? But I definitely do go for the generic and the loose theme, the more the stylized rides and stylized parks. That's how I've always built. But yeah, I'm trying to do that here, but the more modern look. And I love the trucks. I love the trucks. I love the fact that it gave me the idea, you know, why not put a stand right in front of it, so when I open it up, it's going to be like they have a novel item being sold there. But just right here, you know, the more I mess with the pathing tool, the more I'm really enjoying it. I think what made it frustrating in the last game was it was what it was, right? you know, you would try to do things and you would wonder why you cannot do certain things. And now it's like things are looking ugly because the tool is so strong and we don't know how to contain it at the moment, honestly. There are a few things, obviously, like waking square paths should be easier. There really should be an option to take out curbs. Yeah, I don't know. People are gonna have to probably make path covers for that. But for me, at the moment, it's not an issue necessarily. Especially when you do mixed paths like what we're seeing here. Big plazas. Yeah, but really when you get to the queues and everything, yeah, it gets kind of annoying. But yeah, I really wanted to get a time lapse or so out, you know, now, because I'm actually really learning the game. This whole series will be me learning where the pieces are, what I like to use, you know, the go-to stuff. Some maybe techniques here and there. Maybe I'll relearn how to build here and there. But honestly, I was saying, for me, I'm not necessarily the best builder, and I felt that even with this, what we got going here, this little modern storefront when you walk into the Willy B experience, I really liked it. You know, it was simplistic, but not too much. It really does give kind of shopping mall vibes in a way. And honestly, I could see this being a park where people could just come, pay for a pass, and just, you know, shop around. But no, from what I've started making, which I will actually do, showing more probably later in the week, is yeah, we're definitely this is definitely going to be just a medium-sized, medium-scale park just across from a mall. Because the rides I have up there, it's like, look, this is kind of just too big for to be pay per ride. I mean, you could do it, right? But I think they'd be losing money and then and all that. But yeah, as I'm seeing, I'm trying to find some of the generic modern pieces here. This is actually, I think, part of the aquatic set, and that's what it got me thinking. It got me excited because I'm thinking a lot of the pieces in this game now are a lot more modular, and they can be used in a lot more different ways. And I think my favorite new tool or addition that they have added to the game is the scaling tool, because it's truly a game changer. It truly changes everything. It lets so many pieces be applicable to so many situations. The scaling tool is incredible. And I know someone's probably wondering, what about the build? You haven't said anything about the UI yet. Look, the UI is not perfect. In fact, I literally was having my frustrations with it when I was trying to mess with the scenery editor on the trains and stuff for the coasters. Yeah, it's definitely not great. But I will say there is... I feel like there's a mix of just getting used to shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I jump around from a lot of games myself. At least, well, I don't jump around from a lot of games. I jump around from a lot of games with a lot of convoluted systems, right? I play a lot of fighting games. I play a lot of management games. And a lot of tabletops. So, UI, I feel like, is something I'm able to adapt to because generally it's not great in a lot of those games or genres. But it could be better. Really, it's just the amount of menus and I almost feel like it's the familiarity of the last game, you know? Like, I'm trying to do the same kind of hotkeys and stuff, and it's just not working. Granted, I probably could change it but, like, just escaping, you know? Pressing escape to get out of stuff, you have to press escape, like, 6 times. I found that pressing right mouse button is kind of just better to get around in the menus. But basically, the more I'm getting around, the more I'm finding it, the more I'm getting faster. To me, I could see myself getting used to this. I don't think it's a game breaker. Now, for some people, it might. I did put a few hours in, quite a few hours. I would say 20 hours in now. So, but it never really bugged me to the point where it made me want to stop. So I guess that is hope there. Yeah, we're just doing the beginning here. Like, we're going to a simple entrance gate. Nothing too fancy. You know, I do want to go back in here probably and add some coaster track and stuff, just to kind of get the vibe that you're about to be thrown into a theme park here. You know, some people might, you know, be walking around the Stonecrest Mall and just see, you know, screw it, you know, what's over here, and then, well, okay, you know, get a good experience or get a good aesthetic going of what's going to be happening, what you're going to be getting if you buy a ticket. But yeah, we're gonna just have a lot of classic flats. We're gonna have a carousel and a chair swing behind the globe, alongside of which it's not in this time lapse, but and unfortunately I did not record a time lapse to be building those coasters, but there will be 2 of the front line coasters, and I would say probably 2 of the heavy hitters in the park for what they do. They're not too intense, but they definitely will be at the front of the park, so that's it. That's the main thing. Is not too intense, but I feel like I made them pretty fun. I think they're both around 3,000 feet though, so not the longest coasters, but not short either. But all in all, I'm excited to see where I do with pathing and stuff around here. But really, I need to see. Can't wait to mess around a bit more with just everything. You know, I feel like even though I have 20 hours, I'm kind of slow. I really do take my time. I do experiment a lot. So I was really doing a lot of that in the career mode. I was actually gonna upload a career mode, kind of like showing me struggle with just even like doing things myself. Because yeah, I want to say people are not alone. That's the one thing I will say. Like, I am enjoying the hell out of the game, but the UI could use a lot of work. Like, you probably just saw that quick little snippet there at the time lapse, but why was there so much white space? Excuse me, I am getting something right now, which for some reason these Planet Coaster commentators just be sick. We just be getting sick. But yeah, I think personally it's allergies right now. I'm getting pretty bad. But this is me trying to mess with the scenery brush, because I was like, oh yeah, I could just mess around with this. I ended up getting rid of this because I remember that in real life this is just flat dead grass. I'm probably gonna end up doing that eventually in an episode or so. But all in all, we're gonna just go with the nighttime here. There is probably gonna be a lot of random pauses of me just looking stuff up, me researching. I know I was looking at a lot of referencing. I was really looking at modern astronomy tutors and stuff. I really like the look of the one on the left, and also like what I did with the globe there, putting the TWE. It made me almost want to put that font for the front, but for now, we're just gonna keep it because it's not necessarily the easiest thing to grab all that. So yeah, but we did end up adding a wooden coaster. It's gonna be literally right when you see it in the back there. So you're gonna see the first few airtime hills before it starts going to its own thing. Its layout. It's gonna be a GCI, so it's gonna be pretty wild layout, but not too wild. Like I said, I want this to be the first few rides to kind of hit for everyone, if you like coasters at least. And I also have a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster. Honestly, I kind of wish I put more inversions in it, but for what it is, it kind of is a balanced coaster. It has positives, inversions, airtime, and this bathroom that I'm making right here is not even. So I end up keeping this bathroom, but it doesn't end up staying in this location. And that was just me thinking that it's like Planet Coaster 1, where I don't know if they would use the facilities in game or outside of the park or not. And this is me thinking super realistic. Okay, let me go ahead and make bathrooms outside of the entrance. But I instead was like, screw it. I will just have it to where it's just a walking-in plaza, and they will get to that bathroom after they walk in. Because like I said, I'm really just trying to get to the main meat of what I enjoy about building in these games. And that is, you know, obviously the coaster builder. I always enjoy building coasters, but I enjoy making them look pretty and realistic. Not too realistic. I don't like spending too much time on it, but from afar, I definitely like making it look pretty and realistic, you know, plausible realism. So that's basically where we're gonna go here. In the future, though, I mean, if you get that far, I mean, I've made stylized. You know, I'm rarely super themed. You know, making you feel like you're completely in a different place. I still want you to feel like you're in an amusement park. Maybe even pseudo theme park. Maybe like, you know, Busch Gardens or some sort of like that. But yeah, I'm not super into the heavy theme. But I do kind of want to dip my toes into it eventually, just to see. especially with the game, with how I feel the scenery pieces work in this game. It's definitely gonna set up for a lot of crazy things. I know Twitter has been just going off with just some amazing pieces. I feel like I saw a Star Wars one recently. I actually saw a Star Wars theme that actually looked really good. Like an actual futuristic sci-fi theme. People were just making Western themes, but they were like, wait, what happened? The Western theme is good. We're all the themes. Well, listen, that's how modular all these pieces are. People are able to make basically every theme that we're missing. Yeah. I will say I can't wait till I get past this phase, as you can see me right now, where I'm just trying to figure out what works and what pieces make sense for, scenery. But that's just gonna take time. That's just the learning curve. But I ended up really liking this. Actually, in fact, this felt like a very... I haven't really played Zoo, but it felt like a very Zoo kind of looking bathroom we got here. But I ended up trying to play around with a bit more, but I said, I'm going to keep it like this simple. And really, it's because I don't want anything to be too stylized until, it's there. And it's kind of the look, it's simple, modern look going throughout the park. This park would be a very new, developed park. And it would follow if it's not the same investors that bought, that have the mall across the street, then they probably are in cahoots in some sort. So yeah, they'd probably have a lot of coherency in that sense. But yeah, this is about the moment after I did all the lighting, and I was like, wait, would this actually work for them inside the park? But no, I was actually sprucing up the entrance here a bit, just adding some planters. At first they weren't gonna be planters, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to just expose light. Let's go ahead and add some planters here, and also fix the path as well. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is one of the few times I'm truly trying to make something that doesn't look just straight up, not great. I'll say. Maybe something else maybe doesn't look great, but for me, I am playing this game so casually, on and off for so many years. I mean, since early access of the first game, and I've taken the game. I would say I'm like a casual, hardcore player, because I will play the game, right? I have over 1,000 hours in the first game, but I'm not someone who is looking to do everything super detailed. And sometimes I will, but for me, I still want to have fun. I really like the management aspect of these games, because I'm management. I'm a simulation type of player for these type of stuff, so I'm excited to mess around with a lot of those tools. I mean, I was seeing that it was a lot more to mess with just the mechanics alone. So yeah, that was great. I'm kind of sad to see the security guards are gone, but maybe they'll make them come back. But I almost feel like they had no reason to kind of leave. But from now, yeah, we start adding some flowers here, keeping it simple. And yeah, there's not really too much more to that. We add like a bit more, inside, but I really wish I did a time lapse. In fact, I might show y'all just a actual regular look, not a super fast forward at super hyper speed, of what the park is looking like. Because like I said, I really should have time lapsed it, but it was like I was kind of doing it in between other things. I didn't know how much time I was gonna have, and I ended up spending more time than I should have doing all that stuff. But it is what it is. Yeah, for now, this is where I'm sitting here trying to debate where to put everything. But all in all, I'm very, very happy with how things are coming out. It's always, it's always gonna look ugly before it looks pretty, especially when you're in a new game. And that's the one thing I want to harp on too is yeah, it's gonna be some learning for everyone, y'all. So do not get discouraged. Now, if you are having, you really are not liking the UI, performance or whatever. I know some people are having performance issues. There are some crashes. Yeah, I get it. You know, I completely get it. That is understandable. You know, respect your time. Don't try to enjoy something if it's extremely frustrating or just not working. But I hope that Frontier is able to make the right stuff, because right now for me it's the foundation is great. You know, the foundation of this game. I was saying on my you know, I will plug it because it's probably the main thing I'd be doing, but on the podcast, the High Rollers, you know, I was saying, you know, gaming for me is kind of dead because I can almost see right through it. You know, $70 on top of a battle pass now, thanks to Fortnite, for content that should have already been in the game, but now they're drip feeding it in a pass type of ordeals, or just unfinished games being released. People are probably saying that about this, right? Unfinished. But for me, I'm like, if this is unfinished, then yeah, then I don't know what to say, because a lot of they must be full games releasing as alphas now, because to me, compared to a lot of games that have come out recently, this is much better than a lot of them. The game is running, it's not crashing. There's so many riots for us to mess with. The tools are absolutely incredible, and so the stuff I'm messing with here, I actually found how to deal with. Really, my only issue with the path editor is you cannot really hug corners like that too well. They will never be too perfect, which is unfortunate, but hopefully that can be added. And that's the thing, is they really did do revamps for the first game. People forget that. This is before I found out how to do the square cues, which even then, square cues might be a bit difficult to do, unfortunately. But luckily enough, for most rides, I mean, like this, you don't have to do a square cue and it'll work out. What I'm really excited about, though, is backstage areas will be actually worth a damn. Like, they're not just gonna be for show. You know, you can actually throw your staff and your maintenance men back there, and that's gonna be honestly a cool little thing to build up. Because, you know, there's actual reason for it. You know, a lot of times, you know, I ended up getting to the habit of making maintenance areas and/or maintenance track for my rides and stuff. But realistically, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, there's no mechanical benefit for this, so why am I doing this? I'm just eating up resources for the realism. And that's what I mean is, I will do something as long as, you know, I'll make something realistic or make it look good, as long as it has an impact on the game. And even then, sometimes if it doesn't, as long as it makes me feel better, you know, about it, I'll do it. But I'm not gonna ever. I'm just being realistic with y'all listeners. I'm probably not gonna be super detailed ever. You know, on maybe certain paired of things, but when you really put the magnifying glass to it, you might find a few cracks. But that's fine for me. That's fine. Oh, I actually am starting to build the coaster here. Okay, never mind. So yeah, the layout is basically the same from this until now. Only thing I changed is the wave turn after this really weird inversion, which I really liked at the end. I don't know what I want to do with it, honestly, but I ended up really messed with it. I didn't know if I wanted to do like a Vekoma kind of stall loop, because I know Gerstlauers will kind of do those now too. But I was like, you know what, let's do something wonky and weird, because Infinity Flyers. We're not talking about GCI right now. Sorry, Jesus. The Gerstlauer Infinity coasters have some wonky. They can do a lot, and they were one of the most versatile coasters in the last game. They're advertised as some of the most versatile coasters in the world now. So yeah, I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's have. And another reason why we'll throw this in here is because the friend and the inspiration of the park is a big fan of this model. So yeah, we're gonna have this here. Yeah, I was definitely going through some iterations. I honestly think the 4-meter method is not needed. It is not needed. Now, you can still do it, right, if you're used to it, but from what I have found out, this is not needed. They were able to make some incredibly smooth coasters with the, and not just coping, like not just saying like, oh yeah, it's incredibly smooth while it's jittering like a the whole time, just shaking away, rattling like a rattlesnake. No, like literally, you can save probably half the time making a coaster just as good in Planet Coaster 1 and Planet Coaster 2. You're saving so much time in this game. And wow, I did not remember doing any of this. Whatever I got at the end is much better. Because, yeah, I think we're starting to get to that now. Because I go with a Sniggle Dive here. Because we need more of those in coasters, man. We're kind of forgetting about Sniggle Dives. The last real coaster, the new coaster that I have one is like Copperhead Trike. Yeah, we need to get back on those, but I do need to stop this soon because I am getting very congested. But I am gonna try to keep going here with this coaster. So yeah, we ended up having a dive loop. I never had dive loops. And like I said, looking back, I probably should have added more loops. Get the big looping coaster out of the way. But I also didn't know the friction in this game. So at the moment you can't set friction for separate rides. It has to be friction throughout the park, which is another unfortunate. But we can work around that because I just think the friction overall is better in this game. You know, you're not gonna be, your coaster's not gonna be sluggish even at 0.9, 0.8. Even when I was playing around before, it seems like they were moving around the track. Like they're not just you're not losing speed too fast now. And that's a good thing. But I personally have it at 0.8, just because I know for a fact I still think the wooden coasters might have that little bit of effect. But I that's just off of feel, right? I'm not too sure. In fact, you know, I do know that they are better than what they were because, at least from the one I made, and then that one I'm sure I didn't time lapse. From the one I made there, it tracks, and I'm surprised that it even does keep the speed that it does because I'm thinking it's Planet Coaster 1 physics. But no, it's able to do it just fine. Just fine. Yeah, and this is basically the layout. Like it's much smoother by the end. And I end up actually fixing the block brakes here and not having it jank like a Twisted Timber or something. But yeah, let me know if you like the longer time lapses. I'll do it that way. I'm probably gonna try to keep most of them to 15-20 minutes though, to be realistic with y'all. But I just had two, and this is the first one. I didn't really explain myself and what this park is. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot more. I mean, I know I'm gonna be doing a lot more. For me, I like layouting. That's a word apparently. I like to lay out the park with ride stuff first and path. I'll do the buildings around it later. I know most people that I watch do the opposite, but building was not my favorite thing when I first started doing these games. I'm just gonna be clean. I've learned to like building. I've learned to love it actually, you know. But like I said, I do prefer making the coasters. But after a while, I will finally be like, all right, you know, this needs the building. I will do it. I will bite it down, and I will do it. But yeah, I'm not gonna show any of the smoothing here. I'll just show the POV of it final. Oh wow, that's actually really perfect here. The POV of it finalized. Not, and it's on this form, but I will show the POV finalized. But thank y'all for, if you made it this far, for looking and giving this a watch. I gotta remember to say watch and look because I mostly do a podcast, which y'all should listen. Give it a listen. We talk about all stuff in the coaster enthusiast hobby, everything amusement industry, while having, you know, a few beverages, maybe a smoke here and there. So y'all go ahead and give the High Rollers a listen. There's literally over 60 episodes of just fun tomfoolery. We've had people like Ghoster Coasters on, Brothers Back Row. Definitely give it a listen. But y'all, I'm gonna end y'all with this POV. Subscribe and like if you like it, and if you want more of this. And catch y'all in the next one.